Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. This video is going to be formatted a little bit differently than my typical reviews because there's so many new things coming out. There are 3 items that I want to talk about in this video, but the main focus is going to be the brand new Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeliner. I just have this really exciting eyeshadow palette I want to test out before I put the eyeliner on, and I did try this out already previously this week. I talked about it on my Snapchat and my Twitter, and so this eyeliner review is going to be a well-rounded review. The rest of the products will be a first impression. So if you want to hear my thoughts on this new liner and you want to see me try out a new exciting eyeshadow palette and highlighter, then just keep on watching. So clearly I have nothing on my eyes. I wanted to do my eyeshadow obviously before I put on the eyeliner. I had so many requests to do different types of looks with the eyeliner, so I think what I'm going to do is try to go for like a shimmery eyeshadow look and see how the eyeliner looks over top shimmer. I've already tried it over a blank base and I've tried it over just neutral matte eyeshadow, so today I want to try shimmer. So the reason why I wanted to do my eyeshadow on camera today is because this new palette is coming out from Sigma, and I posted about it on my Instagram and a lot of you guys seem to be interested in it just like I am because it is very unique and it finally has an exciting kind of color scheme in my opinion, and so I wanted to share the new Sigma Enchanted palette with you guys in this video. Alright, so let's talk about this Secret Garden Enchanted themed eyeshadow palette. So here we have it. It's such a beautiful, unique theme. It's got these kind of ethereal, shimmery glitters in here, and it also comes with a dual-sided brush, which Sigma brushes obviously are one of my favorite brushes, so it's amazing that they made a palette that comes with a brush. But as you can see, it has the foresty kind of green colors. It also has beautiful duochrome, so I really want to play with this today. First things first, there is a transition color in the palette. This is called Quartz. It looks to be like a matte bone color. I'm going to put this on with the brush that comes with the palette. Oh, this makes sense. So this is the E38 and the E54 on this brush. So 2 brushes that I already use quite often in my collection. So I'm just going to sweep this all over my lid. The only thing I have going on right now is concealer, and I did my brows with a little bit of Anastasia Dip Brow and brow gel. That's pretty much it. You guys, please let me know if you want to see a detailed review on this eyeshadow palette. The reason I kind of haven't jumped right in to do that is because I know there are so many high demand products coming out, like the Anastasia foundation. I know Jeffree is probably going to be launching something pretty soon, and honestly, it's really, really hard to keep up because things just keep coming in and I want to talk about everything, which is why I'm kind of trying to talk about multiple products today in this video just so I can give you a little bit of a review. So I can't play with this palette without going into this Cosmos shade. It's a beautiful forest green with duochrome glitter in it. So I'm just going to pack this all over my lid and see what happens. So I'm going to pop this on with the E54 side. There is definitely some fallout with these shimmer shades. So I'm just blending with that transition shade and the blending side of the brush. I probably am going to have to go in with one of my other white-haired blenders just because I'm so used to the way that they blend on me. This shade really reminds me of like a beetle, like a duochrome green kind of purpley beetle. Once that shade is on, I'm going to take a little tiny blending brush. This is the Sigma Blending E36, and I'm going to pick up this shade Evergreen, which is a matte forest green. And I'm going to place this right underneath my lower lash line, but only in the outer corner. And then just a few more steps before we move on to eyeliner. There is another duochrome shade that I want to pop into the center of my lid. It's called Metamorphosis. This shade Metamorphosis is another duochrome. So I'm going to pick this up with one of my fingers and I'm just going to pop it into the center of my lid. And it's just going to give it an extra little glow. Kind of make it look even more like a little duochrome beetle. And now we have a nice glittery, shimmery lid to test the eyeliner over. All right, so let's talk about the eyeliner. This is what we're here for. So this Anastasia liquid liner is launching on August 6th, probably already launched as I put this up. And this is going to retail for $18. So this little guy is interesting. It's not a felt tip liner. It's kind of like a spongy applicator that you dip into a well of eyeliner. And here's what the applicator looks like if you guys haven't seen it yet. So I've been using this over the past few days, and in my experience, I have found it to be a very, very liquidy liner, so very kind of watery. So you want to be careful working with it not to get it anywhere else on your lid because you're going to be dealing with a mess. So be very, very precise with your application. But this also dries down to be probably the most matte eyeliner that I have ever seen. So at first it worried me. I thought that it was going to crackle because something that is super matte usually is very, very dry and could crackle, but it did not. And I did a little wear test, probably like the crappiest quality wear test you guys will ever see. I did it on my Snapchat, so I figured I would insert these snaps instead of trying to vlog. I kind of had a girls' day laying out at the pool, and I put this eyeliner on my eyes, and I went to the pool for 4-something hours, and it did not budge. But what I noticed during the application was that if you have dry eyelids, and at the time my eyelids were very, very dry, it will potentially bleed into your dry cracks if you have any, and that happened to me. So while you apply it, as long as you apply it good, it's gonna stay exactly how you applied it throughout the day. We're gonna do a wear test today over here on Snapchat of the new Anastasia liner. This is gonna be my first time trying it, so bear with me. Alright, so I'm going to be headed out the door, but I'm just going to go to the pool, and that's going to be my wear test. I'm not wearing anything else on my face today, just SPF, and I'm going to avoid the eyeliner. But these crazy wings, I'm going to test them and see if they crack or bleed or anything like that. Alright guys, I just got done laying out for about 4 hours. And honestly, any problems that I had with the eyeliner were during application because it looks the exact same way than it looked when I first left the house. So it definitely passes any wear test from sweat, swimming, and from sun, and from tanning lotion, everything. Like, it has held up through everything. No smudges, nothing, no bleeding, no cracking. Hopefully that made sense, but I want to go ahead and apply it now. Eyeliner is one of the hardest things to capture on camera, but I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I do my liquid liner. I don't typically work with eyeliners like this that are in like the brush form. I typically do use a felt tip marker eyeliner just because I feel like they're a little bit easier, or I will use a gel with a brush, so I guess this is kind of like the same concept as that, but for me it's a little bit harder to get them even. I'm not amazing at eyeliner. I try my best, but it's usually a game of going back and forth between wings and trying to even them out, so probably what we're going to run into today. But my biggest thing is failing to capture it on camera because I always look down into my mirror, so I will do my best to not hide my head off of camera. So what I do with my wings is I do the wings first to try to get them at an even angle. My face is not exactly symmetrical, so it's a rarity for me to get my eyeliner perfect anyways, but I will do my wing first. So I did the line, and I'll go to the other eye and do the same line. And then a tip that I learned from somebody on YouTube is to do your worst eye first. So the eye that you struggle with the most, do that first, and then try to match your good eye to that eye instead of trying to do your good eye first and then work with your bad eye. If you have a bad eye, then you know what I mean. I always mess this eye up, so I'm going to do this eye first. So what I do is I take that line that I made and I connect it to my lid first. Once that line is connected to my lid, I'll go to the inner corner of my eye. This seems to be going over the glitter just fine. Once the inner corner is done and this is connected, I just connect the whole line together. And then once that line is connected, you can see hopefully that there's a gap. I fill in the gap and I just paint it near my lash line as best as I can. So there we have one wing. I did not have to dip into the eyeliner again to achieve this wing, and this looks really good, so hopefully I can get the other one to look this good. So some thoughts. I just want to tell you guys that I think the reason why I really like this liner is because the tip is not a brush, so it doesn't have a bunch of bristles that are gonna fly all over the place, but it's also not a stiff felt tip. It's like a sponge. It's like a pointy sponge, and I really, really like that. And it's liquidy enough to where I feel like the liquid could go over chunky glitter. You know how sometimes if you have a dry liner, or more dry, I should say, it will kind of flip over the glitter and the glitter will chunk off, and then you'll have to just fix it a million times, make it thicker, and then you kind of ruin your glitter. I feel like this is liquidy enough to where it's not going to do that. I really can't think of anything negative to say about this. The only thing is I do think it's more for people who are a little bit more experienced with eyeliner. I wouldn't say it's going to be the easiest for a beginner, because in my personal experience, I feel like felt tips are easier for beginners just because it's a marker, you know, like you hold it like a pen. You don't have to worry about the length of this liner. This liner is that far away from my fingertips at all times. If you have a felt tip, you can get right down near the tip, if that makes sense. So I would say this would be literally perfect for makeup artists. It would be perfect for people who are used to liquid liner, and probably anyone with like a moderate skill level when it comes to eyeliner. Okay, so lashes are on. I'm gonna go ahead and cover up any lash glue or the band with this liner. It has a really flexible tip, so it helps to just kind of set it along the band, and it's really, really easy. And it dries really quickly too. Okay, so because this is very, very matte, I kind of want to see if it's any more matte than some of my favorite liners. So I'm going to go ahead and do some swatching. Okay, so this is the Anastasia. It's still drying down. Next is my favorite Benefit roller liner. Mine is drying out a little bit, I will say, but this is a felt tip liner. So there's Benefit. Really bad swatch on my part. Really heavy swatch. And then I have the Sigma Liquid Pen Eyeliner. This is also a marker eyeliner. I love how none of them bled into like my wrinkles. Alright, so they are dry, and I don't know if you guys can see this on camera, but in person I can definitely tell. The Anastasia is the most matte, then the Benefit, and then the Sigma. But definitely there's not a more matte eyeliner than the Anastasia in my collection. Okay, so now before I jump into a Q&A about the liners, I want to apply some highlighter. So with the liner, Anastasia also released 2 new loose highlighters. So we have Vegas and we have Peach Fizz. So this is actually going to be my first time ever applying a loose highlighter from Anastasia. I'm going to apply some Peach Fizz. Definitely no regrets there on the shade choice. I can't believe I haven't worn a highlighter through this whole video. I should have done this first. And this peachy color actually plays really well with the greens on my eyes for some reason. Okay, so that was Peach Fizz. Now I want to try out some of the Vegas shade. I'm going to pick up some of this on a small blending brush, and I'm going to hit the tip of my nose and the bridge. I'm also going to use that shade to hit my brow bone. So that is really pretty too. It's just a little bit more golden than what suits my skin tone right now. I do have more of these in my collection. I just haven't tried them yet. So if you guys have tried an Anastasia loose highlighter, let me know what your favorite shade is and I'll try that next. Okay, so I'm jumping onto Twitter because I asked you guys what you wanted to see when it came to a review about eyeliner, and so this is my first eyeliner review, so I'm just going to give you guys answers to some of your concerns, and this of course is just based on my experience. But one of my faves, Jack Cameron 50, asked, will it last through our dramatic meltdowns? And I definitely think it would, unless you rub your eyes, because I was done at the pool the other day and I rubbed my eyes. I wanted to just see before I took the liner off if it would smudge, and yes, it will smudge if you rub your eyes. So as long as you're gently dabbing with tissues as you melt down, then yes, it will last. My friend Danielle asked, is it going to run down my cheeks while I sweat from this gross summer heat? And the answer for me was absolutely not. I was out, like I said, in the sun for 4+ hours out by the pool. I had sunscreen on my face, so my face was really greasy, but the super matte eyeliner lasted through all of the heat and all of my sweat. Jay Beauty asked, how fast does it dry? How thick or thin can you draw, and how opaque is it? So it dries really, really fast in my opinion. You can draw it pretty thin. I'd say thinner than some of my felt tip liners because the very tip of it is very, very thin. So if you have a really light hand, you can absolutely draw it thin. And the first time I drew it on, I drew it really thick. So you can definitely do both, and it is extremely opaque. My friend Raina asked, does it flake? Does it dry as you apply it? How fast does it transfer, and does it tug while applying? It absolutely does not flake. It does dry down pretty quickly. I would say as you're applying it, it is drying. It did not transfer for me at all up into the upper lid. I know that was another question, like some people have an issue with opening their eyes super wide throughout the day or whatever and having their eyeliner transfer. No, it does not transfer once it's dried down, and it does not tug while it's applying, I think because it's so liquidy. My friend Justin asked if it smudges. That's the problem that he has when it comes to eyeliners. It did not smudge with me at all. I don't use liquid liner in the waterline, so I can't say how it would apply in there. I don't know if anybody does, but as far as smudging onto like my upper lid or just smudging in general, no. It only did at the end of my 4 hours when I like vigorously rubbed my eyes, then it would smudge. There was a question about, does it collect in the tear duct? No, it doesn't. It dries down so matte that it doesn't run around or collect anywhere like maybe a pencil liner would. But I think that that's pretty much everything that I have to say about this Anastasia liner. I really hope that my video helped you guys out in your decision making. It still is an expensive liner, and I do believe that there are good eyeliners in the drugstore. I know that there are a lot of people that loved the NYC liquid liner because of how matte it was. It also had a similar layout to this. It was one of the brush tip type eyeliners from the drugstore. Obviously, this can't compare to the price of that, but since that is discontinued, and I know a lot of people are sad about that, this might actually be that replacement for you guys because it's pretty much a identical concept. It's just a little bit different. The brush I think is better. It's like the spongy thin tip brush, and it is very, very matte. The most matte liner in my collection. But that is everything, you guys, for this video. I'm gonna go ahead and leave details on the liner, the highlighter, the eyeshadow palette down in the description box if you guys want to check any of it out. I hope that you liked the layout of this review. I know it might seem kind of all over the place, but I just have so many things to talk to you guys about, and even more over the next coming weeks is coming out. So let me know if you're okay with this kind of jumbled type review. Hopefully it was still helpful and specific enough for you guys who are just interested in the liner. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching and for hanging out with me. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any future reviews from me. Turn that notification bell on if you want to be some of the first to get notified of my uploads. YouTube is not the greatest when it comes to that. Please also give this video a thumbs up if you did like it, and hopefully I will see you all in my next one. Bye.